The day is finally here. Today we will be transferring everything over from this tank into this new 1000 liter tank. It's not going to be the simplest process because everything here has to first be moved out of the way because this tank will basically be taking up this entire wall. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be emptying this tank into a big stock tank and sliding it out of the way. Then we'll have to push this tank into place. We're going to be drilling holes to run PVC through this wall. And we're also going to be messing around a little bit with the electrical because this tank will need some more plugs and sockets and things like that. So now it's time to empty this fucker. See here. Okay, everything is encrusted. Great.
So, this video is a long time coming. I've been focusing most of my attention on getting the new tank up and running. During the initial setup, I basically just jerry-rigged everything. And I've slowly been working my way through and just trying to make everything nice and pretty and not looking like a complete disaster. I still have some stuff to do. Not all of the equipment is up and running, and I really need to mount some cabinets and things and do wire management and all that fun stuff. Here you can see me pulling out all of the rocks and corals of the old tank. It's pretty astounding to see how big the corals actually are. You don't get a good sense of scale when they're in the tank. It's first when you get them in your hands that you can really tell how big they've gotten. Also, the amount of bristleworms I managed to sting myself on was quite impressive. I think my hands were ruined for the following week after this. Over the years, I've developed some sort of a weird oversensitivity to both bristleworms and euphyllias. So yeah, my hands were red, sore and swollen. Here you can see me catching the fish. The Achilles tang obviously was the worst one to catch. That took a long time before I managed to corral him into this bucket. I don't really like to use nets if I don't have to, since I think it has the possibility of damaging their slime coats. So I mostly try to use some sort of a bucket. It's easier that way as well, in my opinion. Luckily, all the fish were relatively calm during the transfer. Some of them even ate when they were in this big stock tank. I have a great local fish shop who lent me this big stock tank, which really helped during the transfer.
Sådär. Snyggt. Och sen så tar vi och drar lite mer rör där så har vi två akvarium.
Ching! Jag sa det.
Here I just told my wife that we were actually going to be setting up the old tank as well. So we're going to be having 2 tanks. But that was a fairly hard no. So yeah, that won't be happening. Here we are pushing the new tank into place. So it's the first time I've actually seen how it's going to be looking. And I'm very happy with how it all came out. Here we're drilling holes for the plumbing because the sump will be on the other side of that wall. The tank is getting wet for the first time, and I'm being cheered on by my wife and daughter. I made the stupid decision about 4 years ago to place an encrusting Montipora on this rock, and for the last 3 years I've been trying to kill it off, which has proven to be basically impossible. I tried to cover it with caulk paste, epoxy, blasting it with fresh water, scrubbing it off. Nothing seems to make a dent on it. So I finally gave in and figured I would get rid of the corals, the acroporas that were on this rock. And then I threw this rock out into the snow, hoping to kill the Montipora off. which probably won't work. So my guess is that I'll be dealing with Montipora infestation on my lawn come spring. So I've got all the corals in, and here I'm adding the fish to the new tank before I start adding new water.
Add on the purple tag. Use the Majestic Angel.
Be a better way to do this. So, those are the old holes for the plumbing. Now, I can just sit back and relax and watch it fill itself. Everything seems to be doing fairly okay as well, so quite happy about that. No polyp extension though.
So this is how the tank is looking at the moment. Overall, I'm very happy about how it all turned out. There haven't been any major issues, no losses of livestock, no ick outbreaks or anything like that. The only problems, or well, problems, but the only issues that I had are a small diatom outbreak, and my nutrients shot up initially as well. I think that's due to some bacterial imbalance. Obviously, there's still a lot to be done. I removed some of my old rock and replaced it with aquaforest rock, which I built the right structure out of. I will try to free up more open areas on the sandbed, because I am hoping to be able to add a blue-spotted stingray in the future. I will also be getting a school of Bimaculatus antias in a couple weeks, so those are the first new additions to this tank. I hope that you found this video interesting, and if there's any questions or anything like that, just write them down in the comments. Thank you for watching, and happy holidays!